Hello and welcome to Stylish Chats for Creatives. Today on the podcast, I'm speaking to Benny London. Benny is a plus size model and we first met in 2019, so almost 5 years ago. And I have sat from the sidelines and just watched his career flourish. I am seeing you in Barcelona, in Paris, in all over Europe. I'm seeing you on billboards, on H&M's website. I'm seeing you on all these other. It's just incredible, Benny. And I'm so excited to chat to you about your career and how you got here. And it's been just so lush to see someone really succeed with their chosen career.
Thank you for having me, Charlotte. Thank you. I really appreciate it. That was the best intro I've ever had. I'm going to have that saved for all my other intros. Thank you. I'm really humbled to be here. Thank you.
I'm so excited to chat to you because we met when I think me and Jonathan Peach were shooting some tests and your agency just stuck their head round and they were like, Benny's about if you fancy doing a little bit of a shoot, and you brought in your suitcase full of clothes because I wasn't prepped for you. I was prepped for some other models.
Yeah. Talk about the I think every single photographer that had me from my early years know about the big suitcase. They know about the big suitcase.
That had some corkers in it. You were pulling out bright coloured jackets. There was like shoes. There was everything, and it was just a dream.
Do you know what it is? I remember. Do you know what it is? As lovely as I can remember that memory, I do remember it being so like hard to accept the fact that whenever I do go to a test shoot, there wouldn't be any sizing available at the time back then. Do you know what I mean? So I had to really just always have my my clothes ready for any opportunity that I got. And I remember dragging. It was in Liverpool, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Liverpool. So I travelled from Manchester to Liverpool. It's not that long of a journey, but was it in Liverpool?
Or maybe it was Manchester. I can't remember, to be honest.
I feel like it was Liverpool because I do remember dragging that big suitcase up the train station. Maybe it was.
I remember it was in some sort of mill.
Mill. See that's definitely. Was it in? Can we say the brand? Was it?
Yeah, if you want.
In Very Studio.
No, this was in. I think Jonathan shared a studio space with a couple of other photographers.
Okay, so it must have been Manchester.
And I'm not sure if it was in Manchester.
It must have been Manchester. If that was the case, then it must have been Manchester. It must have been.
I feel like it was the same mill that the agency was in.
Okay. Yeah, then definitely Manchester. Definitely. It's been so long.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Yeah, definitely.
I know. I mean, my memory is like faltering, like so bad.
All I remember is you having so much energy on that set. So much energy. You was like, you saw the suitcase, you went, whoa! And I went, yeah, it's that time of day. No, I remember it.
It was so good that like you just matched like mine and Jonathan's energy as well. You walked in and we were like, yeah, we know, like you were throwing out poses, Jonathan was throwing out stuff. I was like, try this. And it was like a proper collaboration and everyone was like, yeah, let's try that. And it was great.
And do you know what's crazy about it? When you're on set, when we're on set and there's real magic happening and a real actual connection between all the creatives in the studio, you see it in the pictures because those pictures actually are still on some of my international websites for like the agents pages. So those pictures, they're still on it for my Germany one. They're still on it for my Germany and is it not Norway, but like one of those countries up there. Do you know what I mean? So they
oh my god,
all use those pictures. I remember it clearly. So it goes to show when you're in the studio and everyone is on the same level, same energy, same vibe, everyone's happy, it lasts forever, you know?
That's just made my heart feel full that like our teamwork is still being used to advertise you to get you even better jobs. This is insane.
Exactly. This is why, this is the beauty and the power of being at one. Do you know what I mean? That's really the power. As soon as we connect instantly, like vice versa, hearing you guys thinking like, oh my God, yeah, like Benny is it. Like that also means a lot to me. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I realize my agents had to push me to people like you guys for you guys to see like, okay, there is something here that we can work with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's having somebody have more confidence in you than what you've got in yourself at that current
Yeah.
time, and them go on, and they shove their foot up your arse and push you, and you're like scared and you're nervous, and then you're like, oh my God, it looks so good.
Do you know what's so crazy? That's what I have now. So what you just said, I've got this now with my agent, and it's the most amazing feeling. It gets to the point where they're even scared for me, and I'm like, no, I got this. I got this, you know. But they're actually scared for me. So
Yeah.
it's great to have that now. I wish I had it then, but time changes, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you grow and like evolve and kind of learn from your mistakes as well, because you were brand new to the industry, weren't you?
Brand new, straight off the mark, straight off the shelf, ripped off the plastic.
What were you doing? That's I've just got an image of you in like some sort of like Ken case, like, you know, like the Barbie doll.
Coming soon. Yeah,
Oh,
literally.
so what were you doing before modelling?
I was a normal geezer before modelling. I was working at TGI Fridays. I remember I was scrubbing tables, collecting people's plates, arguing with the kitchen staff because they're taking so long. Because when I go outside, someone's hungry, they're waiting for their food, they come at me, I come at the kitchen comes at the managers comes back to us. So I was just a normal geezer in a restaurant working my ass off after college. Sometimes I'd even skip college just to go get some extra money. Yeah, and then I remember I went off to uni, and when I went to uni, it was a student lock-in night, and I went shopping, and that after that day, it was never the same. Because
Really? So you got scouted that
yeah,
day?
after that day, it was never the same. I was literally, and the funny thing is, I wasn't even shopping for me. I was shopping for my brothers. I said, "Oh my God, everything's so cheap. It's student lock-in night, and you know, finance just uni finance just came in." So as you know, back in those days, it's like when it comes in, it's like you're rich as hell. I want this, I want that. I'm tapping this and I'm tapping that. And as I was picking up a trainer, one of my previous agents approached me with a card. She didn't say much, funny enough. She just gave me a card, and I looked at the card, and the card said, "You've been scouted." And I said, "Are you having a laugh?" But not because of the fact that I was scouted, but because of the fact of the agency that approached me, because that agency did not represent anybody like me. And I'm talking anybody. That agency was known for beautiful, attractive, mixed race, six-pack, blonde girls, beautiful body. They were known for the commercial side of modeling, you know? The ones that you can just put them straight on page... Can I say page 3? Page
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's say page 1. Put them straight on page 1. You know what I mean? They were like that. So when they approached me, forget even my size at the time, because I was a lot, I think I was small or big or whatever, but forget my size at the time. It was more of what I resembled as a black man, 6'3", big, had roles, everything, to what they been doing for years. I was just shocked, you know? But best believe I went to the meeting on Monday. The contract was there, ready to be signed. So that they
Holy shit. It was like fate.
literally they didn't waste any time whatsoever.
That's good, because I think they must have just known. They must have seen you and been like, there's something, like how me and Jonathan did, like, there's something here. Like, this guy's got something and it's like some sort of magic and aura about him that's just going to launch him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, for sure. I guess so, yeah. That she said to me, she said, we've been watching you, because Manchester's super small. Like, I don't know how Manchester is super small, and you can go out at 2 p.m. in town and you'll see everybody there. 2 p.m. on a Saturday, everyone's outside. So they said they've been watching me for a while, and then they finally approached me, and I just took that opportunity.
Yeah. And do you know what? Opportunities come even when you're not looking for them, they arrive. And sometimes you've just got to have the balls to go, fuck it, I'm going to do it and see what it's all about.
This is where people go wrong. People don't take the chance. People think too much into things. People think way too much into a once in a lifetime opportunity, because it really is just once in a lifetime. Had I said no, I'm not taking that card, I would not be able to sit here on a Monday or Tuesday evening, afternoon, talking to you. Do you know what I mean? I'll be scrubbing the table. So yeah, you got to take every opportunity that comes.
Yeah, massively. So from there, I know that you were doing like loads of tests and just trying to build up a bit of a kind of social media following as well. And that comes with its challenges, right?
Honestly, Charlotte, let's talk about the test. The test was the hardest part for me, because it broke me down to make me stronger. Because especially being new to plus size, because plus size was a new thing when I started. Nobody really knew what they were doing with it. People still don't know what they're doing with it. But what hurt me the most about the testing, sorry, what hurt me the most with the testing was that photographers will turn me down when I've approached, even if I'm willing to pay for a test shoot, even if I was willing to, make something work, go from an agent. They would turn me down because I did not look like what they wanted to show on their page, or what would attract work, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I remember one time, British photographer, without naming her name, she was an amazing Manchester photographer. Every single agency, there's about 5 agencies in Manchester, and every single agency sent their models to them, and she would do an amazing work. I will not discredit her. And I remember I messaged her, I'm not sure if I still have the proof, but I messaged her and I said, hey, how are you? I said, I'm a plus size model, and I'd really love to shoot with you. Like, what are your prices? Because I've already been turned down so many times from photographers thinking that I want it for free, because the show won't waste their time with me at the time. So I just went straight up, like, what is your prices? And she replied to him, she said, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm unable to shoot you because I won't be able to style you. And I said, right. I said, oh, not to worry. I have everything that me and my big bags. I've been doing it for years, so I would have been prepared for that anyway. I said, don't worry, like, I can style myself, but I just need your amazing work in front of the camera. And she said to me, no, that's just not how I work. I would have to style you and everything. Honestly, Charlotte, it was the most BS excuse. And I just read it and I broke down and I said, what the heck? I said, why won't you shoot me? And then my self-worth came into play. You know what I mean? So it was like,
Yeah.
I just had to take it in the chin and just had to be like, you know what, it is what it is. I said to myself, I'm going to remember her name. If I ever see her on my call sheet, somebody's getting changed the day before the shoot. But it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. It's shocking, but because I've been in the industry a long time, I am not surprised by that.
Yeah.
And that's shocking within itself, that I'm not surprised by some people's behavior and just lack of enthusiasm for working with different people and different creatives.
Mm-hmm. But that's what separates artists, like real artists as well. Because as a photographer, you should be able to capture beauty from anything. You know, when you look at her page, her work is amazing. She has models with just a big belt across their chest. Like, for example, the girls with just a big belt across their chest. And I don't know, like nothing underneath, whatever. And she creates beauty out of that. What are you styling on that? how long did it take you to get a belt and put it on them and make that magic? Do you know what I mean? Having an excuse for not having the clothes for me, it was just, I would have rather you say, hey, I'm so sorry, but you're not the type of person I shoot, which other photographers have said. And I've taken that because it is what it is. It's the industry, you know? But telling me you ain't got stand for me,
Yeah.
it's okay.
I think like having something that actually has cropped up for me personally recently is people just not being honest enough.
Right.
And just maybe it's because I'm incredibly honest and sometimes a little bit blunt, but people have just not been honest enough. Like, don't bullshit somebody if it's just not the right project for you. Like, just say, so sorry, it's not the right project, or so sorry, it's not the right time for me at the minute, or you don't even have to apologize. Not the right time for me. We'll cross paths later on. And like, where's the honesty gone?
Where is it? Because it's vice versa. It works both ways. Today, funny enough, my agents turn down jobs because it doesn't fit my image. It doesn't fit my brand. So it's the harsh truth of life. So just be honest about it. Do you know what I mean? So there is no honesty in the creative industry. I'm so sorry, but it's true because everything gets created. Do you get it? There is no honesty.
Yeah.
Great in the creative industry. You have to say, okay, you know what? I have never shot a front cover, but but I have done front covers just to get the job. That's really the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of the game.
Yeah. It's so, I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. And I think possibly, personally, this is why I stepped out of the fashion side a little bit and went more still life, because it's more my skill set and I enjoy it. I loved styling models, but I think like if your face doesn't fit, literally, sometimes they're just ignore you, or,
It could be the smallest of things, Charlotte. It could be the smallest of things. And they would just, even enough. I remember my Paris Fashion Week, right? My first Paris Fashion Week when I walked to my first ever show. I remember that process and it was daunting. It was so daunting. Every single model, doesn't matter who you are hanging on a thread. Like, I'm talking replaceable within a second. So I went to the fitting room. So this is after I had confirmed the fitting, not confirmed the show. So I confirmed the fitting and I went to the fitting and I was waiting. They were super busy and they had like this massive board. You know how it is to have like this massive board of all the models' faces, all the no's and all the yes and all the potentials. I literally sat down and saw a model come in, wear the same clothes as another model that had already been confirmed, had already been told yes, that hey, you've got the show, you're wearing this. Another model walked in, put the clothes on, and it looked good. I ain't gonna lie. That model killed it. And do you know what happened? You know what happened? I just saw the director walk across the board and put an X across that person's face that was originally supposed to get it. It is so cutthroat. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but it's the truth. It is so cutthroat and we hang by a thread. Replaceable.
it must be so demoralizing if that happens to you as well, because there's a lot, you're essentially selling your figure, your face, you're selling you as a human, and it just must be so scary.
This is why I always tell people models are the most insecure people in the world. Like, believe it or not, like they can be beautiful, they can be stunning, they could be Naomi Campbell, but we have the most insecurity because all we need to hear is, "Oh, your hair is not dark enough. You've missed out on this 20,000 job." Do you know how you feel? Because something is so little. Like literally, put it in a normal perspective. You're going in for an interview for a job at a 9 to 5, a 40K salary, great salary, 50K salary, great salary, right? You go into the meeting, you hand them your CV, you do the interview, it goes really well, and the guy doesn't give you the job for something as little as, or your perfume reminds me of your ex. Something as little as that, you've just missed the job.
For once, I'm speechless because that's exactly it.
You know? And I think people need to see the truth. People need to see, like, are you ready to get into this creative lifestyle? Because all you will need to do is create the perfect picture for the perfect job.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done,
But
right?
yeah, you can do it. It's so hard. Get there. It took me almost 5 to 6 years to. It took me a long time. But yeah. Yeah. But saying that as well,
It's
people
oh
down, there's people that come in a minute and they're up there. Do you know what I mean? It just depends on your train. What train did you get on? The express train or the railway train?
the one that stops at every
The
single stop or the one that goes straight through.
cost 60 pence more.
Yeah,
uh,
that's it. That's it. So, how do you stay motivated to keep creating, and how do you keep some of these insecurities away? Because it must eat at you.
oh, it eats me every day, Charlotte. But you know the answer to that is my agent, Gemma. My new, and I'm praying to God it's my last ever agent, because if she leaves the game, I leave the game. That's how I'm going to do it. Because when I tell you, I have never met somebody that knows me to the T, to like the T, like that knows exactly when I'm slowing down, when I'm feeling a little bit low, and she just says the right thing that gets me boosted up and gets me motivated. Someone that when I mess up, she's there to cover my tracks. Someone that so when I'm like sometimes like when I'm not doing much, I feel like I'm letting her down. So it forces me to like, you know, because it's the money thing. I make money, you make money. We nothing. We good. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I'm if I'm slowing it down, I'm slowing it down for her too. But we work so well together to a point where I can I can make a mistake, Charlotte, and I don't intend to, but I can make a mistake and mess up. She will cover it within a second. Covered, fixed. This is where you need to go next. Having that support system is everything. Everything. I had a big interview for New York Times and I missed it. I was incredibly stressed that weekend anyway. It was on a Saturday. Give me a break. It was on a Saturday. And I had an intense like weekend that weekend. I remember it. And I had missed it. So I had no clue. I'm here eating. We just made brunch. We're about to eat with my friends, just a little downtime. I get a call from my agent and I saw the call and I didn't think nothing of it. I said, "Hey Jem, like how are you?" She went, "So, how was the interview?" I kid you not, Charlotte, I looked at the phone for a good 10 minutes. Like that. For a good 10 minutes. And I said, "Gemma, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I tell her the truth. I never lied to her. That's one of the rules. Never lie to her because she gonna get your ass. That's one thing about her." I said, "Gemma, I'm so sorry. I missed it. I forgot." And the thing is, how can I forget? You know, something that big. How can I forget? But
It's
she did.
it's so good to hear that you've got like such a good agent as well to cover for you and to like help you out, be your support system, because in this industry it can be incredibly lonely if you're not got that support network around you, and
It is.
it can be
It
hard.
is lonely, and that's one thing. There's two things that I struggle the most in modeling. If I'm going to be completely honest and be very real right now, there's two things that I struggle with modeling. One, staying the right size, and two, loneliness. Those two are like the hardest.
Yeah.
Everything else, I can take it on, but the lonely side of modeling and keeping the right size, because having to stay big is actually harder than what people think. People think it's easy. Yeah, go ahead and just eat. Okay, great. go ahead and eat, and then what happens to your face when you eat? You don't have no facial structures. You can't shoot onto, and then you haven't got what they're looking for. Do you know what I mean? Or once you lose
Yeah.
busy and you're traveling, you can't fit into your clothes no more. So they're like, oh, you've lost a little bit of weight, so you have to put on some weight. I just done a talk with BBC about this actually, so I'll send it to you so you can listen to it. But the weight situation, it's scary. You know, it's hard. It's really hard trying to stay the same size, trying to stay the same bigness. It's expensive and it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the lonely side, that's it really.
I think it is that the more I chat to creatives, especially because a lot of us are self-employed and we buzz on set because we all have lots of people around us, and you know, we all love chatting and we've all got lots of like really big energy. Yeah. And then when it's quiet with work, you're like, oh shit, like I'm sat at home twiddling my thumbs.
It's
like,
the worst.
Oh, I'm like,
yeah. It's really the worst. No, it's really, really, really the worst. It's really the worst when you're not doing nothing and it's not busy, and then you start to think like, am I not good enough for the industry? Am I not being seen?
Yes, yes. I'm worlds apart. Our jobs are in the same creative industry, but our jobs are world apart, and I still have the same thoughts.
Really?
And I'm like, oh God, did I just like forget to put antiperspirant on the last time I was in the studio?
You know what's so funny? You said that. So I had a job right up north somewhere, and there was this particular stylist that probably the worst stylist I've ever worked with my whole entire life. and, and we had this argument mid studio, well, mid work, mid session, whatever you call it. What do you call it? Mid shoot. Perfect. We had this massive argument with the stylist mid shoot because of the food chain and slavery. Right? She comes late. She rocks up about 4 hours late because of traffic. She's picking up clothes. When I tell you she's picking up clothes, like I'll be shooting. I've already come from an industry where like it's so fast. I'm shooting. I'm already seeing the stylist already prepare my next outfit. So when I get off set, I'm going straight to the room. I'm changing straight back out. I like to work really quick. You know, I'm shooting and I'm standing there doing nothing. And then when I finish the set, then she'll start thinking, does this go with that? I'm going to put that together. And I just thought, mate, like, I said, you're not doing your job here. You're not doing your job. So we had a full-on argument. And after that day, I have never been booked for that shoot again. It was a good client though, but I've never been booked to them again. And just never heard from them again. It is what it is. You're saying you win some, you lose some. But on that note, I wasn't too upset. Nah, she was not doing her job, and I hope they didn't book her again for any other jobs. I'm so sorry to say this, but as a stylist, you know, we working together, like we're communicating through every way possible. Like I'm shooting, I'm doing my thing. Like I need you to also do your thing. So when I get off, like we're on it. You know, she just wasn't doing.
Yeah, and you need to keep the pace up throughout the day, especially on model sets, because let's face it, once it hits like what, 12:30, lunchtime-ish, it's like
it's the worst.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah. It's so good to hear it from your side too, because I thought it was just from us.
No, it's from me as well. Well, from like I say, I've probably not done model in like 4 years, but like it's definitely, you need that second caffeine hit. Like, give me, I mean, I talk enough without 4 cups of coffee throughout the day, but like
No,
you know, after lunch, give me a double shot of espresso. I need to get this shit going.
But this is why I always like force before lunch to shoot as much as possible. Because face it, after lunch, I eat. And when you have me on set, like to any client, when you have me on set, like give me good food because I'm going to want to come back. You know, I don't really care about the money, but give me good food, a good experience and a good team. I'm coming back because with a good team and a good food, we are getting the job.
Yeah.
getting the job done. Do you know what I mean? So after lunch, I like to make sure
Yeah.
I have maybe like less than 10 outfits to shoot because my belly's already popped. I'm already thinking about my nap. I'm having to find a way to get home. Yeah.
Yeah.
We like,
I'm with you.
yeah.
This is it, and I'm completely with you because I hit like depends on what you have for lunch, doesn't it? Really, like you say. But if it's a bit carby, like I was on a shoot last year, like a big Christmas shoot for Giacomo,
Oh,
and we like smashed through loads of stuff. Have you been for the to Giacomo?
I've done Giacomo. Giacomo was my first like e-com client. I've not done like their campaigns or anything yet. but but no, I've worked with Giacomo's almost 2 years straight back to back. When they were first representing body inclusions and everything, when they were first doing that. Now they've taken a different direction, which is fine, which I kind of question a little bit, if we can talk about it, but I kind of question it a little bit, but that's because of what I stand for and like what I'm pushing, body positivity, making everyone feel included. Yeah, they've changed direction, but yeah, carrying on about the Giacomo shoot.
I was tasked to dress Christmas trees and do all the props and stuff. And we got there at like 7:30 in the morning, I think it was. And there was a fashion stylist there. So I was just doing all the other bits. And then they were like, who wants lunch? You know, like, let's do the lunch order. They ordered like massive burritos. So, like, by the time 2 o'clock came around and these burritos showed up, which were delicious, like 2:30 hit and everyone was like slumping, like,
Oh,
oh my God, I'm so tired. And we still had like to get a load of shots done. And we were like,
oh,
coffee.
oh, I know exactly how it feels. Your eye starts dragging. Like, do you know what I used to do? Like, I would like, whenever there was dress us and we'll shoot the back, for example, we'll shoot the front and then we'll shoot the back. That little 40-second turnaround I have not facing anybody, my eyes are shut, like completely gone. After lunch, gone. I have 40 seconds to like recharge every outfit to sleep on. Like, yeah, I know exactly how that feels. You know what's even worse, Charlotte? You're lucky that even because back then they used to hire the studio and the studio will come with a buffet. Oh my God. And to make it worse, I'd have captures on set. Are you setting me up? No, it was a setup.
It like it just makes me laugh because especially on like big shoots like that, when you need loads of energy, then all the chocolate bars come out. All of the like there is fruit
Yeah, but
sometimes, but
what they're
like
doing.
it's mostly like yeah, they know what they're doing. They're like filling us with sugar. It's a bit like what I do to my nephews, right? Fill them with sugar, then hand them back to their parents, and they have a sugar drop 2 hours later.
No.
You know, you're driving home and you're like, why do I feel like shit? And it's like, oh, I've eaten 3 Mars bars, a burrito for lunch, and I've had 20 coffees, and I've talked so much because I've had so much caffeine.
Right? I mean, at this point, we're just better off giving, like, I don't know, like Red Bull shots from the beginning of the shoot or something just to get over it and done with. But I do strongly recommend anybody listening to this and you're a producer, I do strongly recommend powering before lunch as much as you can. So after lunch, you have less work to do. It will just help out everyone else on set and everyone will feel so much happier. If not, then you just dread it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm with you in that as well. I like to power through, and I like to power through all the awkward shit first as well. So then you have an easy, dreamy afternoon.
Suits, the smart wears, the ones that have to be extra crispy, you have to get rid of them first. Get them out of the way. Because I've seen photographers like blown up, like some photographers won't come completely sober to sets. It happens. So their patience is like, and I always know that. I always notice it. The first thing I do when I go into set, I see the photographer. I match the energy instantly because if you don't match the photographer's energy, I'm talking about like the photographer will take that absolute mick, the mick.
Yeah. I think my note on that is that some people who are older in this industry have a very kind of like pyramid kind of idea of how things should be. And they go, I'm the photographer, so I'm right at the top. So you're my assistant to move my chair 6 inches from the desk. I have witnessed that, not on a model set, but on an interior shoot. I have witnessed that with an older photographer. However, when you get younger photographers, I feel like it's more of a level playing field. You're all there to create together. You're all there as a team.
Right. It's teamwork. Everything is all about team. That you can't create nothing by yourself. And you can't create something by dictating and bossing and doing that. No. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Does it get your back up? Because it gets my back up, and then I work less. I'm like, oh well.
I think for me, the only thing that annoys me is just stylists that take ages to get the clothes out. Oh, because yeah, that's that's how I feel. Stylists take ages, Charlotte, to get together and give it to you, because when you think, it's like I have like four poses realistically. When I'm in front of the camera, I have four poses to nail, right? Something that shows the front, something that shows how you're moving in it. Let's talk about ecom, because editorial is a lot more chilled, a lot more still. You don't do much, but ecom, and when you're selling an outfit, I have about four poses to sell it, and I'm done. I want to be in that changing room 30 seconds, and I change really quick. No makeup on clothes. Yep, experienced. So I change and bring it out, and I'm ready. I, I want to get it done. I want them to pay me for a full day, for a half a day, because I can get it done. Do you know what I mean? Let's make the
Yes, I do know what you mean,
if
because
everyone's winning,
I'm the same.
right? Everybody's winning. Everyone's happy. The photographer goes home early. The stylist goes home early. The production people go home early. We all go home early. But it just goes to show, it's just
Yeah, that's it. And I think
that's it.
it's the ecom industry as well. It depends where you're who you're shooting for, but some people are more relaxed than others, and some will be like, it's 30 outfits today. Some are like, let's get 80 items shot, and you're like, fuck me,
And
like
do you know,
these queens need to get changed quick.
do you know what's cheeky about those people that decide to give you 80 outfits on one day? Yeah, they will come with a low budget, not great food on set. You will have zero energy, and it's like you've already agreed to it, so you can't even back out.
Yeah,
It's too late. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But the ones that are,
yeah,
guys, we only got 25 outfits to shoot today. They look after you so well, so well.
yeah. They massively do, because they do it for like still life stuff as well. They're like, when your rail's done, go home. Like, obviously, don't take the piss and do it in 2 hours, but like, you've got to like
Yeah.
manage your own time. But
It's like, it's gonna finish soon, and it's like, guys, I had a photographer do that. It's like we was about to finish like before the halftime cutoff. So basically, if we had finished at 1 o'clock, then everyone gets a half day rate. But so the photographer was just like, okay, let's slow down. Let's just take our time. Let me just fix this camera, just so we can go past the halftime. The things we get up to.
it's funny, like kind of lifting the curtain on our industry is quite funny, because all of us in it know this shit
You know
goes
what?
on, and then people outside, yeah, and then other people go like, what?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you've got to play the game, but don't let the game play you with our creative industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, massively. I do think it's changing though. I do think it's maybe it's the studios I'm in, but I'm definitely seeing that it's relaxing a little bit, and it's more, like I say, of a team effort. There's less of that hierarchy of like, well, I'm big boss. Like, there's that energy is kind of dying off.
Yeah. I feel like because people can't really put a time frame anymore on your success and where you're going to be tomorrow. So you can come in as a stylist today, and then within 4 weeks or a month or 3 months, you're head producer, whatever. Like everyone is like able to just jump off the scenes. Whereas before it was like, okay, hi, you're a model. Okay, great. This is your 10-year career, run with it. Or hi, you're a photographer. Great. This is your 20 years career, run with it. People can just switch and change up so much more easier now, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's more people are happy to learn stuff. Like I can't shoot to the same extent that other people can, but I certainly, by watching people like Jonathan and other people shoot and holding scrims in and like holding reflectors in and all sorts, you learn while you're on the job as well. So then it does mean that people become more multi-skilled and change jobs or like go and help out a little bit more in different sectors and stuff.
Yeah, and especially because now that everybody's doing it, now that everyone's getting, like, we're getting more people in the industry, you kind of want to pick up extra skills anyway. You don't just want to turn up, I'm the seamstress. You don't just want to turn up and just do one thing. You kind of want to have a lot more things behind your back pocket. So when the client is viewing you and seeing you work, oh, okay, well, you know what? We don't have a lighting guy today, but Charlotte done lighting last week's job, so let's just get her in for that job anyway. Even though you're not supposed to be in, that's an extra job for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's great. It's great,
Yeah,
having those skills behind your back pocket.
yeah, hugely. So I've got another couple of questions for you, but one of them, and this might be quite a biggie, but and answer it however you want. But what's been your greatest achievement so far in your modelling career?
My greatest achievement: getting signed to IMG. Getting signed to IMG. Do you know what? It could mean nothing. I could not get anything out of it. But the fact that I have signed a contract with IMG's name on it, and we're talking IMG, we are talking the longest top running agency in the world, that people will go and take out their ribs, their limbs, that will go and do surgery, that will go and do cosmetics, that will go and change their whole entire life to go to. I got it. And I got it in the hardest city for a plus size to work in. The hardest city. That for me, I think that's the only thing that I've still pinned on my Instagram. So when you go on my Instagram, you would see it the first post, because I have prayed, I have cried, and I've wanted IMG so bad. And they have, like, the one in New York declined me so many times, but I never give up. But like, I now have it. Charlotte. Like, it's an achievement. It's a real, like, the models that I started off with, they're not even, some of them are not even modeling no more. Some of them are still modeling. Some of them also wanted to be with where I am now. But I did it. I got signed to them. You know? So
It's incredible.
yeah,
It's incredible.
yeah. And IMG is no small toy. Hell. It is no small toy.
It really fucking isn't. I think people who don't know the industry, from the vague knowledge I know of them, they've just been around since the dawn of fucking time.
Yeah.
And they're one of these that like everyone aspires to get to.
Right. From everyone knows about it. If you're a model or even a creative, because I think they've also got a creative platform as well. You know about IMG. If you know about IMG, then you know about IMG. You know about IMG.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not great.
Honestly, I'm so proud of you, because like literally the last like 4 or 5 years, like I say, watching you from the sidelines, and I'm like, fucking yes, Benny, yes, he's on, yes, just cheering you along, silently maybe liking the odd thing on Instagram, and I'm just like, it's so nice to see you flourish,
Yeah.
and just you're fucking killing it, mate. You're killing it.
No, thank you. I appreciate every single person that has supported me from the start of my career. Like I even tell my agents this, and I say to them, I said, hey, there's particular clients that if they ever come back later on in life when I become, a Naomi Campbell, the Janet, whatever they are, like later in life, if they ever come back, I will still charge them however much they paid for me the first time they had me, because they took me on, they believed in me without being anything. Zero. When when even photographers and people that I'm willing to pay to test with will decline me, these clients took me on, paid me, taught me how to do a job, and I'm something that I'll just be forever grateful. There's like 3 clients in my list right now. Like, no matter how big I get, I will always change and alter to be there for them when they need me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
It's 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 so nice just to hear that you're so grounded still as well.
Mm.
And this could have flung you, and it could have made, like, some people, you see it flings them and their ego goes with it. And I don't feel you're not like that at all. You're very grounded, and you're very grateful for all the tiny steps that it's taken for you to get where you are. And you're very, very humble.
And heavy on the tiny steps, because it's really been tiny steps up those stairs, like tiny. It's been. I wouldn't really say like I have had, even signing with IMG. As much as it looks like I'm doing so much great jobs and I'm getting this and I'm getting that, even signing to like IMG, it's still step by step. I haven't signed and then boom, you're seeing me on every runway. Boom, you're seeing me on every campaign. Boom. It's still step by step. Do you know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where like I'm okay. Like my friend rang me this morning, sent me a post about another model, and I said to him, and I said, you know what? I don't really care. I said, friend, like respectfully, I don't really care, because I'm happy with the pace that I'm going on. Because if I was to mess up, I've got so much built, like so much foundation that I've layered with like relationships at work, relationship with clients, relationship with my agents, relationship with my followers, my supporters, where if I was to fall, I'm not going to fall that far down. I'm going to fall maybe 2 steps down. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm going to make sure that every step that I'm going on, I am leaving behind history, something that you can't remove, something that you can't erase. Paris, debuting runway for plus size, I am leaving it down. Being the first to be signed in Italy, I am leaving that down. Being, everything that I've done, I am leaving my name written. You can't erase it because I was the first to do it. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones where have good people around you. That's what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have good people, have solid people that can really hold you down and really, really, really hold you down.
Yeah, I think a good support system is what's needed. And because being a creative sometimes is incredibly ugly. There can be a lot of tears, there can be a lot of setbacks, but also those same people to have you cheer you along is incredible too.
Yeah. Charlotte, what's one thing that's made you cry in the creative industry? I'll tell you mine as well, but tell me something that's made you cry in the creative industry.
Oh, probably this is going to sound really, saying it out loud is going to sound really, really odd, but it's sometimes not getting booked and attaching my work to my worth.
We spoke about this. Literally. Absolutely. So that's made you cry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alongside some producers and other things as well, but...
And how low exactly did you feel? Did you feel so low to a point where you felt like it's time to switch roles, to switch industry?
Yeah. I literally posted a LinkedIn post probably just before Halloween, and I was like really like low because I'd not had much work in. Like this year's been a bit dire. And I was like, I am ready to find a full-time job, whatever. I was looking at driving delivery vans for like people for supermarkets and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It gets
Like, so, but I think you get, I don't know whether it's fear though.
well. I was actually going to say, number one, don't give up. Don't ever, ever give up. Don't ever, because if anybody's going to come and tell you to not give up, it is me. You have seen my journeys from from struggling to carry those suitcases up the stairs to having the driver get out the car to bring my suitcases in, which is a blessing. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute blessing. And don't give up, because tomorrow is only a day away. Take it easy and just win for yourself. Like, that's the only thing I can say. Like, if somebody ever makes you cry, if a producer pisses you off, or like, you've had like a bad day and you've not worked for so long, you want to get to a point where like you want to become unaffordable. You want to not work because that client couldn't afford to pay you. So if anything, you work to that point where you are not approachable, and I guarantee you, Charlotte, whatever you bring to the creative space, it's going to be in demand, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. You've just like filled my little cup up. That's so, you've just radiated positivity and rained positivity on me.
You don't have a little cup, Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? And I truly do believe. I wish people can see your vibe. If you still got that same energy and vibe from 5 years ago, Charlotte, I wish people can see you on set, because models need that energy, need that buzz to keep them going. Everyone around the sets need that buzz that you have, Charlotte. I'm telling you, So don't give up and don't cry about it. You don't want to wake up with puffy eyes. Definitely. Like, for example, one thing that made me cry, I'll tell you one thing that made me cry. And this is really much the industry. This sums up the industry. I had an agent at the time who I was very close with also. And this is, being too close to an agent can be very scary, because then it's a thin line between a friendship and business. You don't want to cross that, because if you cross the business aspect, it goes into the friendship, which affects the whole business, basically. So I had an agent at the time, and I was going through a terrible time. My skin broke out so bad. Like, I'm talking, I I think I had a shoot one time when they didn't use a clean shaver, and I just woke up with bumps all over my face. Terrible. Like, it looked like acne bumps. Like, and
Oh,
agent at the time supported me through this. I can't deny it, supported me through this. At the time, I was actually also shooting with Tommy, and bless Igor, like, such an amazing man, he runs Tommy basically for me anyway, and he was just like, I was supposed to go work. I remember that weekend, and I couldn't fly out, and he said, "You know what, Betty, it's okay. Like, take your time, like, heal, and we'll have you back." Because I genuinely felt I lost my favorite client. Do you know what I mean? And they all supported me. Anyways, there was a particular show. I don't want to mention it too tough because it will be narrowed and targeted. But there was a particular show that was happening in London, in my city. And I remember prior to that show, about a week before the show, my agent at the time was doing the scouting for that client for that show. So I could have really had it in my little finger. Do you know what I mean? Because it's my personal agent doing the.
mhm.
You get a trace in the chat. You know how the industry is. You know. And then, and then I remember I had this debates with my agent about a payment prior to the show, and I said, "Hey, this payment is not adding up because Like, and he's telling me, "Oh, you're using the wrong currency exchange because they were paying me in euros, so they have to exchange it to pounds." It's like, I don't know what app you're using, but the one you're using it is wrong. I'm like, it's not mathing. The money is not enough. We had this full on debate, and it became really really aggressive in a sense where like I was getting told I've becoming complacent. And that's one thing about me, Charlotte, and I'm sure you've seen this, like I am never complacent. I am never happy where I am. I am always working to be on the next level. You know? It becoming this, that, I did this for you, I did that for you, I did this, I did that. I heard that and it scared me. It shut me up. It really scared me because I did not want my career to rise for only to hear someone to say, I did that. We did that. If anything, I had to show up. If anything, you know what I mean? So I heard that. And
Yeah.
prior to the show, I found out I didn't get confirmed for the show. I found out I didn't get confirmed for the show. That agent gonna put another model to wear my clothes. And the reason why I knew that clothes was for me is because that clothes did not fit the model that was walking on that show. It was not at all. It didn't fit that model. Okay? And Charlotte, I remember watching this video of the show, and I still get teary now because it broke me so hard. I have never felt broken to watch somebody else take your position because you spoke up for yourself. You know? I remember going to like a close friend of mine, and I just started talking about the situation. And when I got to a point where like I got to the point, I got to the point where I was like, I saw the show and I didn't get it. I just broke down and just started crying because it really hurt me because I was this close, Charlotte, to walk with Naomi Campbell. I was this close to walk with people that I have looked up all my life. I was this close, and it got taken away from me. You know, and it broke me. And I feel like since then, I have never been the same. I've become a lot more business savvy. I've become a lot more. If it's not benefiting me, see you later. I'm not doing this whole long procedure, all humble and shutting your mouth. I'm not doing it because it doesn't get you anywhere, Charlotte. This industry is so cutthroat, it's so savvy. You've got to be sharper than how sharp it is. You've got to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I am with you on standing up for yourself as well, on a very similar kind of vibe, but like I stand up for myself when it comes to people not paying me on time.
Oh,
I sent a client terms and conditions. Like I ended up sending her terms and conditions and saying that there's going to be an admin fee and everything else because I thought, do you know what? I am getting sick to death of chasing these massive, massive companies for my
they have.
5 days work. And it's like, to them, it's like 50p.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm still chasing payments.
Oh, it does my actual head in. And like, because when you're self-employed, you wear about 20 different hats. You're your own accountant, your own marketing, your own social media manager, your everything.
Right.
And then when clients like just ghost you when you're owed a payment, you're like, excuse me, I can't go to my bank and be like, oh, can I just pay you in tins of baked beans today?
Right? That's what they don't understand is because these people that are meant to be paying you, they're getting paid on a monthly salary. They're getting their money every month. Come thunder, come rain, come storm, come lockdown, they are still getting a check. Whereas us creative who are freelancers and having to really depend on check to check, we can't afford to wait for 3 days after a payment is meant to be due because we have bills coming out of our accounts that we can't control to stop. And they need to
Yeah.
understand that. And this whole payment thing absolutely pisses me off because sometimes you approach, like sometimes I'll be like, oh, have they paid yet? Client hasn't paid. Do you want me to fly to that city right now and knock on their door and say, excuse me? Why? Because it costs me nothing to fly to that country. I could fly there tomorrow. I can go and ask for my money. Why are they taking ages to send me the money? And it just gets to the point where, like, I just leave it. I just, honestly, Charlotte, when they're taking long, when they disrespect me because I turn up on time, I drop down whatever I'm doing. I can be going through personal stuff. I am on set. I am wearing what you want me to wear. I am putting on what you need me to put on. I am doing what you need me to do. I respected you and you're not respecting me by paying me on time. I just never work for them again. I tell my agent, if they want me, I don't want it. I don't need... Why am I having to beg you for what I've worked for?
That's exactly it. You've hit the nail on the head. Like, that is exactly it. Why am I begging for money that I've already worked for? Like,
right. It just doesn't make sense. I just class it as
it.
For me. It's just disrespectful. Because you wouldn't do that if it was Kendall Jenner. You wouldn't do that if it was Kris Jenner. You wouldn't do that if it was these big people. Because you know why? You'd have to pay them to even get out of bed. You'd have to pay them before they even get out of bed. They would have got the money in the account and they have the choice to come into work or not. You know?
Yeah. 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 Exactly that. Exactly that. And I think, like, it for me, it's the disrespect of self-employed people. We're still running businesses and you've still spent your time and then extra time chasing clients for pay. And then to hear Susan from accounts going, well, I haven't got your invoice. And you're like, well, my invoice is in your business. So that's not a me problem. That's a you problem.
Say Susan, it must be Susan. Because I had a Susan and I'm going to name a shame who would always be out of the office, work sick when it came to paying.
Convenient, that, isn't it?
So
convenient.
Because my bill is just going to wait until you feel better, isn't it? Oh my God.
In a way, I'm glad it's not just me who has these conversations with people about paying me on time.
And I feel like this is something that needs to be spoken on about more. Because as creatives, we really do get played with, Charlotte. We get played with. Do you know why? Because there's nothing that we can do about it. There is nothing, there is so much clause contracts that they can get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, massively.
What's the longest you've ever waited for a payment?
3 months.
Oh.
And I, on a 30-day invoice, and I went into the manager's office and I was I'm feisty anyway. I was a bit feistier when I was a bit younger. And I went in and opened one Friday morning and opened my laptop with my bank open, didn't even say hello to him and went, what's missing? And he went, I don't know. And I went, 3 months worth of invoices. And I said, if you don't pay it, I'm not coming back next week.
So you were still coming?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. See, I used to think they have an advantage on us because there's nothing that we can do because we don't have to go back on set. I mean, I wouldn't anyway. But, do you know the longest I've ever waited? Are you ready for this?
It's going to be like over a year, isn't it?
Well, basically. I shot the job in May and I got paid it in October. May, June, July, August.
Is that 6 months?
6 months.
That's such a piss take.
6 months I have waited to get a payment.
Do you know what also annoys me, which is what you've said before as well, is when they go, oh, we're waiting for the other side of the client to pay. And it, like, their cash flow isn't the end creative's problem.
Right.
Like, if they can't cash flow properly, that's not the people who've come in and worked for you's problem. If I was running an agency where I had staff and I had freelancers, you'd bet your bottom dollar they would all get paid before I got paid.
Do you know what?
Because I'd make sure that they were all sorted and everything.
You want them to get paid so you can have whatever's left as a boss. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Honestly, but what makes it worse for me is when they don't offer to help you. It's like, okay, you know what? Like, do you have a particular bill that you need to pay? Maybe I can send you like, this X amount just so you can cover that, just so you can wait for a little bit. They do not do nothing. They don't budge. If anything, they'll say, "Oh, do you want to take out in advance so they can get an extra 50 quid out of it?" No, I don't want to take out in advance. I want my money. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's so, honestly, I don't know if any of my agents ever hear this, and I'm sorry, because when it comes to money, even Gemma, like Gemma is the only person I will never disrespect when it comes to money because she's money savvy herself. She likes her check on time. Do you know what I mean? But like any other agent that's
Yeah.
hear this, I'm so sorry for being so rude because when I do approach them, when I do send them that 9 a.m. email on a Monday morning, I am fuming because my account money just came out and nothing gone in. Do you know what I mean? I am fuming, and it's always out of anger, out of emotions. So one thing that I've learned as well is like to not to reply to them when you're angry. So what I do is I just book a holiday. I go on holiday, and they watch me whilst I'm on holiday. Like they watch my stories, and they see, and they're thinking, "Oh, this boy must be fine." But best believe, on the way back, as soon as I get on that plane, I'm calling you 24/7.
I like that way of thinking.
Yeah, you've got to don't let them know your next move. Like, let them know that you are waiting for a payment, but then it's like you're not depending on it. So then next time when they come in with a job, oh hey, sorry, I'm not available. Good luck. Find someone else that can do it. Oh my days. So something happened. I'm not going to name the brand. So one of these brands they
Yeah.
used to book me, but to be quite fair, like it was a little bit pricey. I can't lie, but they didn't book me one time and they replaced him with another model. I'm assuming it was a cheaper model. Anyway, they shot these pictures and these pictures blew up and completely went viral. Why? Because the model did not maintain themselves properly. Like, didn't get themselves cleaned. Like, okay, let me talk to you about my expense. Like, I get like pedicures, manicures. I get like my skin lasered. I get like small things. So when I'm on set, it's like, hey, I'm here. Just put the clothes on me. Like, there are people who will sit at home that will zoom in to photos just to find something is wrong with these photos. So they went and got a cheaper model on set to do what I do because nobody can do what I do, Charlotte. And the model had, I can't say this because it was the model had something wrong that they didn't take care of. Okay. And got ripped apart, shedded. And I thought to myself, you know what? This is what happens when you decide to cheat the budget. Good on you. And I never came back.
Yeah. But that's so true because if you buy cheap, you buy twice, right? And even for our industry, you can book someone, say, to style your stuff for half the price, but it'll be costing you triple because I'll be coming back doubling my price.
Right. Oh my God, Charlotte, we are actually the same. I always tell my agent this. I say, well, if they didn't book me this time, next time they want me, it's going to cost a lot more. Because yesterday's price is not the same as today's price. Let them know. Let them know.
That's it. That's it. I've got one final question for you, and you can answer it in whichever way you want.
Yeah.
It's quite a biggie. I've had people answer it in a creative manner, in a personal manner, whichever way your intuition tells you to go. So, Benny, what inspires you?
Sorry, Charlotte. I'm just sitting there thinking, oh my God, what is this question going to be? You got me scared there.
Yes.
Okay. What inspires me? Being able to prove people wrong. That's what inspires me. When people think you can't do it and you do it, it's the best feeling ever. The best, because you do it for yourself. They thought you couldn't do it, so you did it. That's what really inspires me.
that drive.
Yeah. It's an automobile.
It's there.
The automatic drive.
It's there. Yeah. Hey, I had an automatic car, and then my other half went, should we go and buy a manual car? And then bought a manual car, and now he drives trucks for a living, and they're fucking automatic. And I wish I'd kept my automatic, because it is annoying driving manual.
There is no way you went from automatic to a manual. That's like having a G-Wagon and a Honda. How can you go from... How can you go from automatic? Charlotte, like, manual, if you're eating and you're trying to...
I do still eat when I'm driving. I don't know whether I should admit that. But a friend of mine from America, when they came over here to live over here, she made her husband buy her an automatic car so she could have the iPad playing Desperate Housewives while she was driving to work.
Hey, but I'm here for it. It makes sense. Don't struggle in life. Automatic, manual. You're struggling to... Because I used to drive a manual, and one thing that made me stop is whenever I was eating, for example, at McDonald's and I have chips, right? Have you ever tried to eat chips from the McDonald's and trying to drive a manual? It's the hardest thing ever. Like, the chips run away from your fingers.
Chips go everywhere.
It goes everywhere. And since then, I got myself an automatic. I kid you not. I have my chips placed right there, my feet on the thing, and one hand on the steering, and I'm just, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like little go-karts, honestly. And it's so good because you're just like eating, whatever. Like,
you're doing fine, yeah. Yeah, it's just easy. Let's not talk too much. We don't want our license. That's it.
On that note, before we both get our license revoked, because we both need our licenses, I have had the most wonderful chat to you today, and it is so nice to see you flourishing, and thank you so much for taking the time to come on the podcast and have a chat to me. I really appreciate it, and it's so lovely to chat to you.
Anytime, Charlotte. Anytime you got my number, just call me. I'm there. Anytime.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, follow, and share, as it really helps this little podcast out. And if you have found value in the podcast and you have the means to, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes. This will help keep the podcast going. Join me next week for another fantastic guest. Bye!